Hey guys, welcome to Gadgets 360. My name is Pranay and in this video I'm going to be talking about the best phones under 30,000 rupees in India right now. Now obviously you're aware that the OnePlus Nord has performed really well in our review and that is a part of this list. But apart from that also we've got some really good smartphones, including some that were launched this year, some that were launched as much as 1 year ago, and even now they offer some great deals in this price range. So there's a lot to look forward to in this video. Do stay with me till the end. But before I start this video, let's make a couple of things clear. What can you not expect in the sub 30,000 rupee price range? You can't expect IP rating, you can't expect wireless charging, and you can't expect great low light photo and video performance at this point in time. Maybe that'll change in the future. I'm really hopeful because what we've got right now is Snapdragon 800 series processor, so you get some great performance in case you're looking for gaming phones and all that. You'll find some really good choices in this video. Apart from that, you also get some phones that have really good daylight camera performance. We're pretty impressed with what we're seeing in this price range right now, and you obviously get really good battery life, lovely software as well on some of these devices. So you can get pretty much everything you need in this price range now. There's very little reason for you to spend more than this in case you're looking for some things that I mentioned just now. So let's get this video started with a request to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when we publish new videos. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up button and let us know with a comment what you think is the best phone under 30,000 rupees. If you're in the market for a phone under 30,000 rupees, the OnePlus Nord may appeal to you. Now remember that the OnePlus 8 is also in the market at 42,000 rupees, and the OnePlus Nord with all three variants under 30,000 rupees gives you most of the features of that device. Now if you're wondering what you'll miss out on compared to the OnePlus 8, there are two main things here. Now first of all, the OnePlus 8 has a metal frame, whereas the OnePlus Nord has a polycarbonate frame. Now, in my opinion, this is not a huge miss, but some people may actually mind the fact that the OnePlus 8 has the Snapdragon 865 processor, whereas the Nord ships with the 765G. Now, in our review, we've said that the 765G performs very well in day-to-day tasks, but those who want the absolute best gaming performance and those who want some bragging rights in terms of benchmarks, etc., for them, this may not suffice. But otherwise, the OnePlus Nord is a fairly well-rounded package. Now on this device, you get 5G support, which is a nice bonus. You also get good app and gaming performance. You get good photos and videos in daylight. The display supports HDR10+, and you get a big battery and impressive battery life with this phone. The only major weakness with the OnePlus Nord, as we mentioned in our review, is the fact that it can't take great photos in low light. However, you should also keep in mind that the OnePlus Nord can shoot selfie videos at 4K 60fps, which is something that even the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro can't do. One of the most underrated things about OnePlus smartphones is Oxygen OS. Now we've seen that this software is really clean, has some lovely enhancements such as inbuilt screen recording, long screenshots, and many other things which we covered in another video where we talked about how Oxygen OS is better than stock Android. It adds a lot of nice things, no bloatware, pretty clean UI, no spammy notifications, and of course it's fairly functional too. So that's one of the reasons that you should be looking at the OnePlus Nord, because clean software is still a bit of a rarity in this price point. You do get many smartphones with lots of preloaded bloatware, some ads, spammy notifications, and other issues. Now, the Realme X3 Super Zoom is the closest competitor to the OnePlus Nord right now. Now, this is because this smartphone ships with a Snapdragon 855 Plus processor that is more powerful than the 765G which you get on the OnePlus Nord, and at the same time you get a telephoto lens on this device which is capable of 5x optical zoom and up to 60x digital zoom. So for some people, those who want the absolute best gaming performance on their device in this price range, and those who want good telephoto zoom capabilities on their smartphone, the Realme X3 Super Zoom may actually be the right smartphone. We've done a comparison between the OnePlus Nord and the Realme X3 Super Zoom in another video, so do check that out to find out which of these phones is the best for you. Now, in our review of the Realme X3 Super Zoom, we've obviously praised its telephoto camera capabilities and gaming performance, but apart from that, we've praised the fact that it has a 120Hz refresh rate on its display. Now, this has an LCD panel, I know, but some people may prefer the faster refresh rate on this one over an AMOLED panel. Now, apart from that, we've also praised the build quality and the battery life of this device. When it comes to weaknesses, the Realme X3 Super Zoom's camera struggle in low light, and this phone does not have stereo speakers, so you may need to keep those things in mind before you make a buying decision. Now this smartphone has an AMOLED display, an in-display fingerprint scanner, 90Hz refresh rate along with the Snapdragon 855 Plus processor, so it does a lot of things right. This also comes with a 50-watt charger which is capable of charging the device from 0 to 100% in about 31 minutes, which is also something that will appeal to a lot of people. Now I want to highlight a couple of things about this device apart from what I've already mentioned. First of all, a lot of people are going to like the fact that this phone has stereo speakers that sound really good. So in case you're one of those people who watches their movies or listens to their game audio on the speaker, then this phone is going to appeal to you. Apart from that, the gaming and app performance is really good on this smartphone thanks to that 855 Plus processor, and you also get premium build quality and design, which is good to have. Unfortunately, this smartphone does heat up a bit under load, so in case you're planning to push it to the maximum, then you need to keep that in mind. In our review, we also mentioned that low light video quality is not that great, so again, that's one more thing to keep in mind before buying this device. So it's quite clear that you do get quite a few versatile phones in this price range. Now, the Realme X2 Pro obviously has that insane fast charging, and if that is your highest priority, then you should get this smartphone. And apart from that, you do get some really good performance as well. But stay with me, in this video, I've got some more older smartphones which have some other unique things going for them. So let's keep watching. Now let's talk about a smartphone that's slightly older than most of the other phones on this list. This phone is the Redmi K20 Pro. Now this phone has the Snapdragon 855 processor, which is fairly powerful even though it was a flagship about a year ago, and it has a 4000 mAh battery which performed very well in our tests. Now in terms of design, the Redmi K20 Pro has one thing that's kind of unique because it has a pop-up selfie camera, which is not very common in this price range. This means that you get to enjoy a notchless display on this smartphone in case that bothers you a lot, but at the same time, the pop-up mechanism of this is a bit slow and it may need you to be a bit more patient than usual. In our review, we praised the performance of this device, we've said good things about the battery life, and we've also said that the versatile cameras are something you're gonna appreciate. So apart from the slow front camera pop-up mechanism, 4K video quality is one weakness of this device. So in case you're planning to shoot a lot of 4K video, you may want to consider other options, but otherwise it's a fairly solid smartphone. Remember that it supports 27-watt fast charging, but you only get an 18-watt charger in the box. And at the current pricing, this device offers fairly good value for money in our opinion. The Asus 6Z is another slightly older smartphone on this list, which has the Snapdragon 855 processor, but is still good enough to be in the best phones under 30,000 rupees in India. Now remember that this phone has some additional features such as the ability to expand storage, and it has a headphone jack too, which are missing in some of the competitors in this price range. The one unique thing about the Asus 6Z is the fact that it has a rotating camera module, so your rear cameras become the front cameras. So in case you want good selfies, you'll be pretty impressed with what you get on the Asus 6Z. Apart from that, the performance is fairly good, the display is also really good, and it does not have any notch thanks to that rotating camera module, which is also something that may appeal to a lot of people. In our review, we also praised some useful software features on this device, but at the same time, we've said that the low light camera performance is not that great and face unlock is a bit slow. So while this is an older smartphone, at under 30,000 rupees right now, it offers excellent value for money. So after looking at the Redmi K20 Pro and the Asus 6Z, I really can't help but wonder what would have happened if the industry had gone towards this whole pop-up selfie camera or rotating selfie camera module trend. We would have seen a lot more phones with notchless displays, and that would have been really cool. Now, I am aware that not everybody wants the best possible processor in their smartphones. Some people have different priorities, such as some people want the absolute best selfie camera, and some people don't really care that much about the performance and gaming as much as they do about the looks of the phone and the design that you get on the device. So for those people also, we've got a couple of picks which you can check out right now. The Vivo V19 is the next smartphone we want to highlight in this price range. Now some of you are going to look at the Snapdragon 712 processor in this smartphone and going to say that this is really underpowered for the price, which is 25,000 rupees, and I agree with you on that front. The processor is definitely not this smartphone's strong point. If you're not into gaming or if you're not a heavy multitasker, then the Vivo V19 still may appeal to you because it does have some things going for it. First of all, it has solid design, which is something we've praised in our review, so in case you want a good looking smartphone, this will appeal to you. Apart from that, the display is really good, so in case you're into watching videos and all, I think you will like this smartphone. And in our review, we've also praised the fact that this has great battery life and it takes really good selfies. So in case those are your priorities, the Vivo V19 may appeal to you, but at the same time, we have to highlight the fact that it has a lot of pre-installed bloatware, it is expensive for what it offers, and the low light video performance is below average. Finally, let's talk about the Oppo Reno 3 Pro. Now this smartphone has a 6.4-inch AMOLED display along with an in-display fingerprint scanner, but Oppo has picked the MediaTek Helio P95 processor for this device, which may not be on par with the Snapdragon 800 and 700 series processors that we've seen on other smartphones in this list. In our review of the Oppo Reno 3 Pro, we praised its camera performance because the 64 megapixel primary rear camera does perform fairly well, and for selfies you also get a 44 megapixel shooter which performed well in our tests. With the Reno 3 Pro, you also get solid battery life thanks to the 4025 mAh battery, and apart from that you get support for 30 watt Whoop charging. While the design of this device was fairly good, we did complain about the preloaded bloatware on this device and the fact that its low light video performance was not that great. So that was our list of the best phones under 30,000 rupees, but I'm 100% sure that you guys have some other smartphones which you think should have been there in this list. So do let us know via the comments. It's all yours. Do let us know any phones that we missed out, any older phone that's available in this price range right now. Apart from that, I'm sure there are some phones which have some other compromises such as really weak processors but really great cameras, or other things that you think are more important for you personally. So do let us know via the comment section. We'll be watching that as well. And for all things tech, as always, go to gadgets360.com. Over there, this guide is also available, and we have other buying guides as well. Under 20,000, under 15,000, under 10,000. You want a smartphone, you go to gadgets360.com.